Hello, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be completely different from the others. I'm working on everything that I'm following up on. The business is still doing research on products, and I did a video on response to the atheists, but that's still coming. But I wanted to do this one because this is a topic that's come up recently. Recently in the news, we've heard a lot about tariffs, and I'm doing this video in response to someone that I follow on Instagram. She calls herself your rich BFF, and she talked about tariffs. And she gave a description of tariffs, which was not really complete. And the way she describes tariffs is what happens is that the USA will impose a 10% tariff on Chinese products, and when they come in, they will charge them that extra 10%. And this is where she and I would disagree, is that they'll bring those products in and then they just pass the charge on to the consumer. And so everyone pays more for those products. And the way that she described it, I guess that would work, but that's not how real life works. And I'll tell you what will happen. All products have a margin. Sometimes it's a very small margin, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a little bit more. And they will bring in that product with a 10% tariff. And their first incentive is to eat the cost somehow, because they don't want to put a product on the market. Let's say that somebody else is selling their product for $1, theirs is $1. Now it's going to be $1.10. Who's going to buy their product? So what they do is that they'll absorb the cost and they'll absorb it down the line somewhere, either in the manufacturing or commissions, or in some other way they'll negotiate, and maybe it'll be a series of companies that will absorb the cost. And so you'll only see it for the dollar that it was selling, probably was selling before. A lot of companies don't raise in their prices as their costs go up. Costs are going up all the time or going down. It used to be in the industry where we would buy wheat and we could get a contract and it would be set, and it was not always the same, but we didn't raise our prices. I mean, sometimes it would be a little bit higher, sometimes a little bit lower. We would absorb it somewhere or maybe just take the hit. But you don't want to send your product out there more expensive just to not incur that cost. I mean, the companies are in business to do business. If they can absorb the 10% and keep selling it, they'll still be profitable and they'll still be able to sell the product at the same price. If it becomes more than that, then it could be a problem. But usually companies don't do tariffs that are too out of control unless they want to use it as a bargaining tool. And I'm not usually a fan of tariffs. It's very famous. If you study history, there was something during the Great Depression called the Smoot-Hawley tariffs, where the U.S. imposed tariffs and on countries mostly from Europe. And what ended up happening is they just retaliated and they put tariffs on our stuff. But the thing is also, and this is important, is who's importing more than the other. For example, if we're say doing a tariff on China, they're importing a hell of a lot more stuff to us than we are to them. Okay, let's say that it was lopsided, it was 10-1, and we imposed tariffs on their items, and we're going to retaliate and put it on yours. Well, ours is only this a single item, so they wouldn't. It wouldn't really be that profitable for them, right, to impose a tariff and to charge us more. They're taking a hit. They've got, say it was a 90-1 or 9-1 ratio, 9 products for the one that we send. They're going to be paying a hell of a lot more in tariffs than we will, and they're going to want to negotiate. And what happens a lot of times is there'll be negotiations that'll go over a while, and what sometimes will happen is that they'll impose a tariff, but what they want is they want you to manufacture the product in their country. And so sometimes that's a way of negotiating, right? Hey, if you build it here, you won't be pay a tariff, and you'll still employ people, and the profits will still go back to the parent company, but you'll be helping out our economy. Recently they were using tariffs to negotiate for other policies, and that's what tariffs aren't always used just to um, make more money for the country. I know that they've been talk about creating tariffs to fund the government here in the United States. Um, Very complicated, but it that's a big deal. I mean, the current tax code, I think, is like 50, 60, 70,000 pages. Um, to redo everything like that would not be something you did in a year or so. It would take a lot more time. I was always very supportive of the flat tax, a consumption tax. In other words, there's no income tax. You don't pay 30% of your income. You pay it as you buy stuff. And as you buy groceries, or as you buy a car, or as you buy a plane ticket, um, that's when you'll pay a tax. And it could be more. It could be 15% or something, something more than you normally would pay. But then there wouldn't be any income tax at the end of the year, and you'd have to file. It would all be done with by the company. They would have to file, and a lot of it would go immediately as soon as the expense happens and the charge happens. It takes take away. I would support something like that. I think that's a really good idea, but that would take a long time, and there are people that it would not be convenient for. I don't want to get too conspiratorial here, but like a lot of us, I'm of the opinion that our taxes aren't spent wisely. Years ago they talked about um, um, legalizing marijuana, and you legalize marijuana, it creates an income stream, and the government would have funding for maybe drug rehabilitation programs, and we ended up doing that, and the money just disappeared into a big black hole. I don't know if anybody of you know this, but um, most of the time, banks can't accept money that has been done with to purchase or to sell the drugs, and that's because banks are federally regulated, and states can have their laws that they allow recreational drug use, but the federal government's still against the law, and so they would not be able to accept it. So a lot of these places are cash only. I've heard of some people that have been able to open accounts. I'm just assuming that they hide it another way, or there's some other strategy that they've used, but that's usually the way that it happens. Anyway, um, this is this video. It's a very short one, but I just wanted to get that out there. And if you like this content, subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next video. I've got more videos that I want to put up, but as I was doing this video, one loaded in the middle of the video because it takes a long time. And it's of my father. There are other things that are going on with my businesses, and I'll update you guys as those come along. Great, thank you. Have a great day.